Hello everyone, it's Noor and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the waiting season and the things you're meant to do and how you're meant to be physically, mentally, spiritually. This season, believe it or not, determines whether you're going forward or backwards. So without further ado, let's begin. Something that is really important to understand that in life there's going to be a time where things aren't working the way you want them to. Or honestly and truly, nothing is going on in your life. This period is going to test your patience, it's going to test your discipline, it's going to test your faith, it's going to test your drive, your why, which means why you're doing what you're doing, which means your purpose. It is going to test you. And keeping a positive attitude and being strategic with how you respond when you are going through that stage is super crucial. I'm telling you, you have to keep the armor of God surrounding you. Now, the thing is, of course, throughout that season, whatever you are working on, whatever dream you're working towards, the sacrifices you're making, you have to realize that it's going to take time. It may get tough, but guess what? It is part of the journey and it is part of the process. And you have to promise yourself that regardless how much time it is going to take, it is actually for your own good. Because throughout that time, you're actually developing into becoming who you're meant to be. Because a lot of times when we're going through that stage of patience and growth, this stage is shaping you, and also you have to realize that it's going to be worth it at the end. Whatever you're working towards, if you genuinely believe in it and if you genuinely put your mind to it and you work hard for it, it is going to be worth it at the end. Think about all the rewards, all the good things that are going to come out of it. And this is how you actually endure that stage, when you realize what you're getting out of it, the impact you're making, whatever thing you're working on, the good things that are going to come out of it. And most importantly, remembering your purpose and why you're doing it. This is how you can endure that stage. Your why should be strong, which means the reason why you're doing what you're doing has a strong foundation, has a strong purpose, that no matter how much time passes, no matter what obstacles you go through, no matter what, you're gonna stay strong, you're gonna stay focused, and you're gonna keep working towards it. Now, let's say throughout the waiting stage, or when you're literally in between, you're working so hard and you're putting all this effort and you're not seeing the results, you have to realize that the results is gonna come. It's gonna show up eventually. Now, if you find yourself lacking, or if you aren't being as consistent, you have to obviously be relying on your discipline instead of your motivation, and you have to keep persevering and keep working towards it. And if you genuinely stopped or if you lagged, no problem. Don't beat yourself up for it. Realize that it happens. It's a normal, natural thing. But you have to pick yourself back up and continue where you left off. You can't stop. This is not the time to stop. When your patience, your discipline, your faith is being tested, this is literally the time to believe the most in yourself. That is why all you need to focus on is the quality of your work, what you're putting out there, the things you're working on, the things you're doing. Focus on that. Do not focus on outside distractions, whatever it may be. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a content creator, you're putting out YouTube videos, you're putting out content out there, nobody's watching. Imagine, right? Now, what you don't need to be doing is focusing on the amount of views that you're getting. What you do need to focus on is the quality of your videos. Focus on how you can better yourself every single time, and then the results are going to show up regardless. So this is just one of the examples I could give you. Whatever you may be doing, whether you're building a business, just realize that working on the quality and putting your effort into making it as better as possible is going to benefit you. Whereas if you're gonna focus on the competitor, you're gonna focus on other things that aren't gonna help you in any way, shape, or form, is not good for you. And so when you're dealing with these obstacles, you have to be strategic in the way you deal with them. Also, I want to touch on is that the waiting season is actually God's way to test us. Because think about it, especially if you've been praying for something to happen and you've been consistent in your prayer and you've been asking God for a breakthrough. Sometimes God puts you through a waiting season to test your faith. Are you gonna keep the faith regardless if something is going on right now and believe that something is gonna happen eventually? Or are you going to doubt what God can do and literally not walk by faith but by sight? It is really crucial to understand that the waiting season is God's way to test us. And sometimes when we don't feel the presence of God and when we don't feel like God is working, He might be working the most because you don't know what's happening. God is working even when you don't feel like He's working. God is there even when you don't feel like He's there. God may be the closest to you when you don't feel Him. It's not about feeling God. It's about His grace and it's about His power and it's about what He can do and keeping His promise regardless of every single circumstance that is happening in your life. What you have to do is you have to keep the faith and keep going. You shouldn't be thinking about how it's gonna happen because God is gonna handle the how. This has nothing to do with us. You give it all to God, trust that it's gonna work out, and all you have to do is just keep working and He's gonna make a way. This is where the faith comes in. And also make sure that you're not doubting God, because when we doubt God and when we worry, it's like telling God, take a step back, I will deal with it. And this is when God doesn't come in handy. This is why you should never doubt what God can do. God can do miracles. God is the God of the possible. That is why you need to put your trust in Him, have faith, and do the work. And always remember, having faith with no work isn't gonna work, and having work with no faith isn't gonna work. You have to have faith and work at the same time. I will give you an example. Let's say there's a bus. Right? You gotta catch the bus. You cannot be praying to catch the bus and not run to catch the bus because you might miss the bus. And if you run for the bus and you don't pray for it, you might not catch the bus. But if you pray to catch the bus and you run to catch the bus, big possibility that you will catch the bus. Now, if you pray for the bus, you run for the bus, and you miss the bus, it is not your bus. This is why you have to trust God's plan, because He can see things that you can't. He can see what's happening. He is going to protect you because you never know. That bus might have gone into an accident. You never know. Only God knows. And that is why you need to keep your faith and keep your trust in Him. To end this video, I just want to tell you, whether you are somebody that literally is waiting on God, you're waiting for that breakthrough, or nothing is happening in your life and you're just kind of like in this stage of what do I do? All you have to do is keep your faith in God, trust that the best is gonna come, and put in the work. Work on what you have to work on and ask God to direct your steps. And this is the best thing you can do, is just do it, and God is gonna handle the how it's gonna happen. You just have to do it. Now, if you don't know what to do, literally ask God to show you, ask God to direct your steps, and He will. And yeah, guys, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment down below what you want to see next. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!